The silence inside the grand hall of the Galactic Concord was palpable. Over 1,000 species, from liquid intelligences to silicon-based behemoths, watched as a single yellow banana lay atop the polished obsidian podium. It rested precisely where Admiral Marcus Rourke of Earth had been standing moments before, now frozen beside it, jaw tight, spine straighter than usual. Across the chamber, Ambassador Verk Teal of the Crayari stood at full height, 8 feet of sinew, gray skin, and bulbous, reflective eyes. He cocked his narrow head, thin lips curled in what could only be described as smug. "A token," he said aloud, his translator rendering the Crayari tone with oily precision. "For nourishment. Monkeys need energy." A ripple of uncertain amusement spread across the hall. Some species laughed. Others, too new to the politics of insult, simply noted it. Rourke didn't move. The banana remained. Earth had been granted temporary diplomatic presence at the Concord, and Admiral Rourke was a soldier, not a statesman. He'd accepted the assignment reluctantly since a more suitable candidate was yet to be found. Orders were orders. He inhaled once, nodded politely to Verk Teal, then turned and walked calmly back to the Earth delegation section. No outburst, no retaliation, just silence. To those unfamiliar with humans, it looked like submission. To those who knew better, it was a storm warning. The 77th Black Dagger Recon Unit was a whisper even among Earth's elite forces and aliens alike. They didn't exist. Officially. Unofficially, they were ghosts with weapons and no moral compass. When word of the banana incident reached them on a nearby planet via encrypted relay, no orders were needed. They just knew what had to be done. The Crayari flagship Dominion of Thought, a ship as pompous as its name, had been left lightly staffed in orbit above Concord Prime. With most of its crew attending the ongoing council meetings, only a skeleton crew of sentient drones and a few shipminders remained aboard. The 77th arrived under cover of darkness, using a stealth drop from a captured maintenance skiff. Their presence was a wisp in the void, undetected by the ancient Crayari systems which relied too heavily on their ship's supposed invincibility to imagine sabotage. They didn't touch weapons, didn't alter systems. That would be a declaration of war. Instead, they unscrewed. Literally, one by one, they accessed key pressure lock fastenings that held the Dominion of Thought's elegant internal and external paneling together. Bulkheads, hallway covers, armor plates, deck walls. Every non-essential panel was unfastened with microscopic precision. They used a proprietary human polymer on each bolt, engineered to dissolve under sudden acceleration and energy surge, like, say, from an impending warp jump. Then they left, just as quietly as they came. 2 days later, after the council had reconvened for a full assembly and ended the diplomatic proceedings, ships from every member world prepared to depart the orbiting stations and return home. The Dominion of Thought, majestic and gleaming, powered up at Docking Spire 5. Ambassador Verk Teal was aboard, of course. He made a point of having his vessel be the first to depart. A Crayari tradition. First to arrive, first to leave, always observed. The ship detached with ceremony. Thrusters engaged. Spectators from across the species looked up through the council's glass dome to watch. The warp engines whined. Light built at the vessel's stern. Then, as the ship surged forward, it began to molt. Panels slid off. Bulkheads clattered. Like leaves in a solar wind, the ship's outer and inner walls peeled away in orderly, synchronized disassembly. The bridge ceiling vanished. Side corridors turned into scaffolding. Living quarters transformed into exposed frameworks. The Grand Promenade, the pride of Crayari design, shed its aesthetic shell to reveal a utilitarian skeleton. The ship kept moving regardless, systems perfectly functional. Warp engines spun up without issue. But the Dominion of Thought now resembled a half-built project from a low-budget orbital yard. Worse, everyone could see inside. From the grand chamber of the council, every representative now had a clear view of Crayari officers stumbling for cover behind exposed girders, Their once private, dignified vessel now a flying embarrassment. Ambassador Verkteel's face appeared on the central display. His nostrils flared. Sabotage. An act of war. 100 species leaned forward. Earth's delegate Admiral Rourke stood slowly. He cleared his throat, voice soft. Ambassador Verkteel, with respect, all your ship's systems appear functional. There was no attack, no injuries, and no evidence of tampering with internal systems. Verkteel bared his fangs. You dare mock. Ambassador, Rourke interrupted gently. May I suggest your engineers review your fastenings? Perhaps your shipbuilders overestimated their craftsmanship. The hall murmured. A slow ripple of amusement passed through certain delegations, especially those familiar with human creativity. Verkteel trembled, then looked off-screen. Get me a status report now. A Crayari junior officer appeared behind him, visibly flustered. Sir, the walls came off. All non-structural panels detached simultaneously. Nothing is broken. It appears the screws dissolved. Dissolved? Yes, sir. A molecular compound. Human origin, most likely. But it's hard to prove. Verkteel blinked. What do you mean hard to prove? The freaking ship fell apart. The officer hesitated. It leaves no trace. Vanishes on activation. There's no forensic signature. No entry logs breached. It's as if the ship undressed itself. The hall erupted in gasps, then laughter. Guttural, clicking, chirping, roaring. Even the amphicrilians pulsed blue with mirth. Verkteel snarled, This is an outrage. On his screen, a new message appeared. Anonymous, untraceable. The ambassador read it out loud, without realizing. An insult given, an insult received. Some screws are silent, some hands unseen. Next time, bring steak, would ya? Monkeys also need protein. The hall exploded. Even the stone-faced Tharnak warlords were chittering. Rourke offered a modest shrug. Perhaps you should consider a ship that doesn't fall apart when leaving port. And with that, Earth's temporary diplomat turned and walked out. The Crayari flagship slowly limped back into dock. The banana that was not long ago sitting in the council chamber had mysteriously vanished. Nobody knew who took it. One rumor suggested Ambassador Rourke took it and ate it on his way back to Earth. Another stated that the 77th took the banana and kept it in a carbon stasis field. As a trophy and a warning. Never give fruit unless you're ready to slip on the peel.